Welcome to the deep dive. We pull apart complex topics, dig through the sources, and basically give you the insights you need, nice and clear. Today, we're diving into something that, well, everyone talks about but maybe doesn't fully grasp: human capital. Specifically, how powerful it is for investment success.
Mm.
We're going to look at why, especially in the private equity world, PE, the right people, are honestly the ultimate secret weapon. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is how talent is being reframed. It's not just an expense anymore, not by a long shot. We're seeing clear evidence that the right talent, particularly in key leadership spots, directly links to, well, better deal flow down the line, and critically, better investment performance. And today we'll explore this mainly through the work of the Talent Equity Group, or TEG. For you listening, understanding this connection, it could give you a real edge or at least a fresh way to look at creating value.
Absolutely. So, our mission really is to get under the hood and see how firms like TEG help PE-backed companies use their people, their biggest asset, to, ramp up productivity, increase profits, and ultimately boost that all-important enterprise value. And we'll zoom in on one role that's often pivotal: the CFO.
Exactly. In PE, the quality of your team isn't just like a nice to have, it's becoming the main event. It directly impacts how successful an investment is. And like you said, it really influences whether you get access to the next great deal. We're not just talking operations here or market strategy in isolation. It's fundamentally about getting the human capital right, placing the right leaders who can actually execute the plan throughout the entire time the PE firm owns the company, the hold cycle.
Right. And that's exactly where TEG comes in. The sources are really clear on this: their mission: to help companies enhance productivity and profitability by leveraging their most critical asset, people.
Israel.
Yeah, it's a strong statement. And they position themselves right at the center of improving investment performance through human capital. And this isn't new for them. They've got, over 25 years doing this? Specifically in lower market PE-backed executive search. They know this space inside out.
That deep experience is key. It lets TEG offer what they call a unique integrated solution.
Yeah.
So it's not just, filling one job and walking away. It's more strategic. It's about supporting the business across that entire hold cycle, looking at talent needs from the C-suite all the way down, that bigger picture view. That's what really builds value that you can actually realize at exit. Building teams, not just hiring people.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Let's double click on that finance leadership piece. Just think for a second about the impact a CFO has on a PE portfolio company. It's massive, right? They aren't just managing budgets. They're strategic partners, navigating choppy waters, optimizing how money is used, planning for growth. It's a tough role. It needs strategy and serious operational chops, especially in that fast PE world.
Oh, absolutely. And TEG clearly gets how vital finance leadership is in PE, whether it's finding a seasoned CFO or maybe spotting rising talent or even setting up the first proper finance lead like a VP or director in a portfolio company. They see how critical that function is. A good finance leader drives value everywhere, boosting revenue, growing EBITDA, that core profitability measure. They find ways to improve margins, help pay down debt deleveraging, and ultimately they're aiming to expand that valuation multiple when the company is sold. And TIG's done this across a whole range of industries, automotive, tech, healthcare, manufacturing, finding talent at the top and just below.
Okay, so that makes sense. The need is clear. But what makes TEG specifically good at finding that right PE CFO, especially in that lower middle market space? It's easy to say you're an expert, but do the numbers back it up?
They do, and the numbers really highlight a big challenge in PE. See, the sources point out that the average CFO in the lower middle market, they only stick around for about 1.8 years. That's not long. And that kind of churn creates real risk for the investment. It throws strategies off track, kills momentum, hurts value. Now look at TEG. They did 10 CFO searches nationally just in the last 12 months across different industries. That's solid volume. I remember that 25 plus years of specific PE-backed search experience. But here are the killer stats. 100% completion rate on executive searches over the last 3 years. Okay, good. Average time to fill, 91 days. Some as quick as 46. Pretty fast. But the most stunning one, addressing that 1.8-year problem. Over the last 3 years, they have a 100% 3-year CFO stick rate for their placements, meaning the CFOs they place, they stay, they deliver. You get stable, high-impact leadership that actually drives the plan.
Wow. Okay, 100% 3-year stick rate versus an industry average under 2 years. That's genuinely remarkable, especially, like you said, in a market where these execs are in high demand and tend to move around. It really says something about finding not just a qualified person, but the right long-term strategic fit. They clearly get the pace, the need for accountability, the alignment PE demands. They know how to navigate that tricky CFO market.
Precisely. And for TEG, it's not just about matching a resume to a job spec. Their whole philosophy is about installing leadership that actively drives enterprise value.
Mm.
That means a really rigorous process for engaging with candidates. It goes way beyond just an interview or two. They work closely with the client right from the start to build out what they call an ideal target job profile. They dig into the key indicators, what really differentiates success in that specific role for that specific company under that specific investment plan. It's tailored.
And it sounds like way more than just reading a job description. They put serious time into understanding the client's goals, their needs, the nuances of the search. What really jumped out at me was the time they invest vetting candidates before they even get near the client. Like 4 to 10 hours per candidate? That's a huge upfront investment.
And they use tools too, right? Like
Yeah.
the predictive index, PI.
Yes,
Wow.
exactly. The predictive index is a key part of their toolkit. It gives them another layer of insight looking at behavioral drives and, importantly, cognitive ability. How quickly someone learns, processes complex stuff, adapts. That's crucial in PE. And the source material makes a strong point. Cognitive ability is the #1 predictor of on-the-job success.
Right. So it's not just can they do the job based on past experience, but do they have the innate ability to learn, adapt, and succeed in this environment?
Hmm.
It's about fit, culture, but also that raw capability and agility. Makes sense. Exactly right. And all this work lets TEG build these incredibly detailed candidate profiles. They really go beyond the resume.
Yeah.
You get the bio, the career wins, sure. But also things like a gap analysis, where might they need support. They mapped leadership competencies specifically for PE and value creation. They'll even flag potential concerns or areas to probe further in interviews. And they include a summary of those predictive index results, showing the match to the target profile, so the client gets a really rounded, insightful picture.
Okay, let's tie this all together then. This super rigorous process, this deep focus on the person. How does finding the right CFO this way actually lead to better results for the PE investment? How does it tangibly boost that enterprise value?
The impact is direct and, frankly, accelerates the whole investment plan. A TEG-placed CFO, armed with what the sources call the finance professional DNA and a full finance management toolkit, makes a difference across the board. First, they improve visibility. Better data, better analytics, stronger FP&A financial planning and analysis. That means faster, smarter decisions, driving operational value. Second, liquidity management. They get cash flow under control, manage risk better, understand the capital structure, fewer nasty surprises. Third, and this is huge, they actively drive EBITDA growth and margin expansion, often contributing 1 to 3 turns of EBITDA, multiple improvement through cost control, efficiencies, better pricing, real bottom line impact. Fourth, they help the company scale. They manage M&A integration smoothly, prepare the company for growth, and keep everyone focused on creating equity value and getting ready for exit. Which leads to the fifth point. They enable a cleaner, faster diligence process when it's time to sell, ultimately helping to enhance the exit multiple and potentially shorten the time to exit. It all aligns with the PE firm's goals.
Yeah, it really sounds like their focus is laser sharp on leadership that just accelerates value, making sure everyone's pouring in the same direction as the investment thesis, focused on that end goal of equity value in a successful exit. It's not just filling a seat, it's like placing a strategic weapon.
That's a good way to put it. And that really captures the TEG difference. They act as real partners, trusted partners to the PE firms and the portfolio companies' CEOs. It comes from truly understanding PE priorities, what kind of leader works in that environment, the specific challenges during that hold cycle, and their network reflects that understanding. Over 7,600 active PE-ready candidates screened and in their system. Nearly 3 to 100 of those are CFOs. That's a deep pool. Plus, their own leadership team has, 90-plus years of combined experience, including actual operating experience on the company side. They've been in those shoes.
And it seems like it really does go beyond the hire. They offer other services too, managed services, advisory consulting, bringing big company tools and best practices to these portfolio companies. It's a whole support system, really, helping leadership teams be not just good, but great. So what does this all mean for our listeners, for PE in general?
I think it means that in today's market, getting the people part right, especially crucial roles like the CFO, it's just not optional anymore. It's not just HR ticking a box. It's a core strategic lever. It directly impacts investment returns, exit values, and even your ability to win the next deal. If you're not intensely focused on human capital, especially leadership, you're almost certainly leaving value, potentially a lot of value, unrealized.
Absolutely. It makes you think, doesn't it? Consider how often the biggest wins in an investment aren't from some flashy new product, but maybe from the steady, smart leadership of the right person in the right chair, quietly driving things forward. What might you be missing in your own talent strategy? Or how could a deeper focus there unlock potential you haven't tapped yet? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into human capital's power in private equity. We hope it's given you some fresh perspective on how people truly shape value creation.